So could you please turn on the recording?
Yes, I've started. Okay, students. So now today onward, today what we have to cover. See, today we have to see the introduction to database system. This is the first topic of the syllabus as per the unit one. So I have given the some words over here: database system, and database management system. So without wasting much time, it is better idea to what I should do. I must to explain this concept with the help of the another example. Okay, so you will able to understand the entire concept properly. So now this slide is totally is showing blank. So let me explain the thing properly from the beginning part. So data. Yes, data is what actually? Data is nothing which is the raw fact. Data is nothing which is the raw fact. Yes, of course we know. So if we are saying and we know data is raw facts means data can be meaningless and meaningful. But how we can say data is meaningful? So suppose I'm writing here XYZ. Yes. Can anyone tell me what is XYZ? Yes, please communicate me and tell me.
Uh,
Data,
some random data, sir.
It's a random data. What is
Random
it?
tested.
alphabets,
Yeah, this could be
It's a
alphabet.
collection
This
of
could
two characters. Sir, it's character data.
It's
Character
a
data.
your character data means you're talking about the type of the data. I'm not talking about the type of data. I'm asking about the what is this? I'm writing XYZ, then system does not recognize its value because it is a meaningless data. So we are saying it is a raw fact, then how it can become a process data? So we have to assign something to this data. So I'm writing the name. So if I'm writing the name to this data, then it becomes a name. This XYZ is the name of the person. If I'm writing the address in terms of city, suppose. So I can say this could be city name. This could be name. Okay. But I'm writing the age. So as we know, this could not be age because if talking about the data constant, this cannot be age because XYZ is not applicable. So that is a point we have to keep in mind. The first point we have the data. Data is raw fact, and it after processing data, we have the process data information. So if I'm saying this is the name of the person, it is XYZ. So this data XYZ has own value. Okay, so this is the point we have to keep in mind. Next point is saying to us databases. So if we have some base to represent our data properly, and you can observe we have seen what is mean by the tabular information. See, you can see here. So student information and transfer tabular information. So it means if I am representing some information, just like I'm taking a simple example for the faculty. Okay, because student data I have taken many times. So right now I'm taking the faculty information, so you can understand faculty. I'm writing here faculty. Please excuse me for the bad writing. Now the employee ID. So first thing I'm taking the employee number. Next I'm taking the of course employee name. EN, that is sufficient only. Date of the joining. Next contact number. So I'm writing here the contact, that is sufficient only. The contact field. Yes, contact number. So let me use the this one. Yes. The simple ID, suppose I have the 123. Employee number name, suppose I have the XYZ. Date of the joining, suppose I'm putting the 20. This is only just understanding purpose only. Number I'm putting the suppose 98 something like this one, and so and so and so 2. So you can observe over here there are some base of the my data to represent the information. So what is the base of the my data over here? There's a faculty. So faculty is what actually? Faculty is the name of the database. Okay. Faculty is the name of the database. Is it clear to all right now? Faculty is the name of the database. Is it clear? You can say it is a
Yes, sir.
okay. And this could be recognized by as a file. Now, employee number, employee name, date of joining, contact number. What is these? These are the attributes or column. These are the attributes and column. Attributes or columns. Is it clear to all right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. So can anyone tell me what is this? 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z, 2, October 20 or mobile number 98 so and so.
Data.
Data, sir.
Yes, this is the data which is associated with the respective column. So October 20 is belong to the date of joining. So this is what? This is our data, but this is process data. But if I'm writing XYZ, we don't know what is XYZ. But after seeing this is employee name, okay, so this is our data. But this is the process data. So 1 to the XYZ, 229, and so on. So these are what these are data values. Okay, these are represented by the data values. So I can say this is the data values. Data values. And all these data values represented by the its column name, employee name, data joining, contact number. So if we have the collection of the all the data values which is pulled by the attributes of column name, I'm repeating once again the point, please keep in mind. If data values are collection of the all the collection of the data values respectively or followed by the its column name, then we have a term that is known as a record. Now, is it clear? So if I'm saying to anyone I'm making a record, so what I'm doing, I'm putting your detail like suppose
Collection of classified data.
classified data. You can see suppose I'm making the marks record. So what I will do, I will keep your roll number, I will keep your name, I will keep your subject title, subject name, and so and so, and what marks you got in the assignment, lab activity, and so and so. So what I'm making a marks record where your contact number or date of joining is not recorded. So the needed information is totally pulled by myself. So what I need only these information, so I'm putting. So data joining and contact number is not required. So what you are doing, it's your choice. So record means the collection of the data values, but it should be followed by the column name. Suppose it is not following by the column name, then at the time, what is this? 1, 2, 3 could be your age, 1, 2, 3 could be your last
Raw
digit
data.
of, yeah, raw data, definitely. So as we have seen the few minutes ago about the raw data, yeah, you can see in the right side. So database and data, these two terms are clear to all? These two terms are clear to all right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, okay, good. So now what I need to explain, the database system. So I'm just writing here the database system. For understanding purpose, I will say here only database system. In short way, DBS. Okay, so but in the exam time and while writing anything and the answer, please do not use the abbreviation word. Please use the full word. So I'm writing here only the database system for explaining purpose only. Database system. So now students, suppose we have the one in database, one is a student database. Next we have the faculty. Next we have the room. Because faculty required a room to take the class and students are required to sit in a room to take the class, of course. And definitely we can take the labs, of course, while doing the practicals. So we can use the labs, so labs required. So how many databases we have? Can anyone tell me right now how many databases we have over here? 4 databases. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
If
Yes, sir.
yes, if all these 4 database systems are interrelated to each other following by the database properties, then we have a system and which is known as the database system. Okay, so I can write over here all these databases are interconnected to each other, interconnect to each other by sharing some properties. Okay, so this is the point we need to keep in mind. This is the database system. Now database system is clear right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
yeah, good. So let me come to the this definition part. So database is what? Collection of related data and its metadata. So related data we are using, see student data related to faculty. Okay, so while see, you are going to purchase any product in the market, then you will say, I need to purchase something. So how we can connect? How can we can relate the student database to the customer database? Is there a sense? No sense. So meaningful or the relation should be properly. We can connect, there will be no issue why the name we can connect to this. But my point is here, why it is required. So relation should be proper. What we have to focus, a relation must be or should be proper. So database is a collection of related data and a metadata. Why metadata? Because name and address, these are the columns which can be expanded more, like the name. So name can be expanded by the first name, last name, second name, and middle name, of course. But roll number cannot be expanded. Roll number once it is designed, that is a 19 BC, 19 BCG, and 20 MIM, 20 MIP, and so on. So it is designed. How we can bifurcation? There will be no sense. But name can be recognized. I need to put only I need only two things: first name and last name. I never like to use the mid name at a time. So there is no option is available. Now you can put the contact number, you can put the other details, but address, in the case of the address, first address or second address, they will say, sir, yes, what is this? Yes, of course, permanent address, local address. In the permanent address, local address, we have the lots of the thing: pin code, city, country, state, and local area. That's your colony name, your local area. So all these can be bifurcation as per required. So this is the metadata. So where the metadata is applicable, so we can do. So collection the related data and metadata that should be organized in a structured format if to get the optimized information. So we have the database, and we have seen all these things here.
So can you explain what is metadata once?
Metadata means suppose in this case employee name. I'm explaining, just explaining here. Yes, metadata. So this employee name can have can be divided into three different parts. One is first name, last name, or mid name. So this is what here we can put the only XYZ. Then you will say, sir, okay, one first name is coming. But at the time, if I found there are lots of people who are having the same name, just like XYZ. So what is their surname or what is their middle name, what is their last name, we can recognize with this. So when we are expanding data in detailed manner, if it required or if it is possible, so then it is known as the data about data. To know about data, what is data? So address and name are the two important best example to give the justification. Metadata means data about data. We are following the data about data. What is data? Can you explain the date of birth? Yes, of course, we can explain date of birth by the month and a year and date. So that can be expanded. But age, how you can expand the age? Because age I'm writing the 98 years, I'm 98 years. It is not true, but I'm just taking example. So I'm 98-year-old person. So how you can explain? No, this is the value 9 and 8 is put it over there. So this cannot be quoted by the metadata. So that is the my point. So where explanation is possible, we can do. So in the name address we can do. So we can do. But practically we will not use. But if it is required, then we can use. And don't worry, we have some examples by which we will see. This metadata we will understand by the graphical way. What we have the ER model by which we use. But here we need to see this example. So name and address is the best example. Yes, now tell me. Now, is it clear right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when talking about the other point here, I was discussing, and now come to the point. See. So we have the one database. Suppose one database system I am following for the uh, computer science department. Okay, so just let me write properly so you can easily understand. Yeah. So one database I created for the computer science department where all the student faculty details are stored over here. Next database I've created. See, this CS in the CS department, it contains a lots of the thing. What are the lots of things? It contains student data, it contains the faculty data. So please keep in mind, okay. And it also contains the specialization subject data, so course data we can say, okay. Same thing, mechanical engineering. It also contains the course data, student data, faculty data, and electronic. Double E I can write over here for understanding purpose. So it also contains the some information like the student, course, and faculty data. If if I'm integrate all these databases, please keep in mind the my words. If I'm integrate all these databases and manage by and manage is by and manage is by some sort of the software or algorithms. So what I'm doing, I'm following the database management system. So how I can manage my database, that is my point. So in a database management system, it can have the many databases. So B2B is the best example where lots of the things are available. So this time I'm pulling the multiple databases. Now you can just how simple. It is very simple how I'm pulling. Listen, I'm teaching to the 19 batch BCG spellation, and then other 20 and 22 spellation I'm teaching MIP and MIM. So what I'm doing? So I'm associated with the multiple databases. And B2B is the best example in our university where the lots of the databases are connected to each other for managing. So how we are managing? We are managing a tool via software, some application. So this is a database management. So when I will found there's some problem, so with the help of the some mechanism, we will troubleshoot such problem in simple way. That is done database nowadays in required way, like the tradition. The tradition is not a good way because we have to solve a problem with the short of the period. That is the reason we have to use the database. So now this slide, the concept is clear. What is data? What is databases? And what is the data values? And what are attributes column and database? Just tell me right now. Anything you need to ask right now. Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after understanding, no need to ask any question right now. Can I move to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is also explained to the other students, so no need to. Okay, so here database system. What is database system? So you can understand. It is integrated system for software, hardware, people, processor, and data that define the regulate and collection, storage, management. So this is the technical term we have over here. But in generalized way, we have seen what is meant by this one. So see, what we have seen, this is written into the technical term only. Okay, so just go to this slide and read some points. So what we are understanding, what we are reading, we are just following the thing with the help of real applications, real examples. And this is the way I always use to teach my student. Just follow the real life application example and understand the concept. This is the point. So now, what is the database management system? So after seeing this concept, all this concept, we have the summary part. A database management system is a collection of interrelated data. We are supposed interrelated because like CS, mechanical, all are interrelated or all are connected to each other. And it is a set of the programs to access those data. Of course, we have to follow some algorithm also. Okay? The collection of data usually refer to the database. Yes, I told you. I told you this statement. Yes, so I'm marking this one. The collection of data usually referred to as the data. Okay, so just see, as I told you. Collection of all the data referred to as a database, because here we have the one record, now second record, now we have the 1,000 records. So all the data collections contain the information relevant to the enterprise. Enterprise means organization. So here in the organization we have the university. The primary goal of the DBMS is to provide the way to store, retrieve the database information, and that is both in form of the convenient and efficient. Why we are using database management system? Because we will get the information in less time and with high accuracy. 100% accuracy we can't say, but we can say with the high accuracy we will get our information in better way. So convenient and efficient is the two important parameter factors. We will say database management system is more needed into today's era. That is the reason we have to study the database management system. Okay, so this slide is clear to all.
Yes, sir.
So applications of the database management system. This again, I'm repeating to my all the students. This is a theoretical portion. So I would not like to touch all the points theoretically unnecessarily, because this way you can go through the various places where you can find the detail. But summarize, I can say banking. In the banking, so withdraw the amount, deposit the amount, and doing the transactions. So banking is the best example nowadays. Just book the tickets at a time. Our database we are accessing through the online banking and banking. So banking is the best example. Here we have airlines to book the ticket rather than going to the particular office. It's a better idea to book your ticket by the online. So we are accessing the database of the flights databases. I need to go to city to city. I need to go flight. I need to take the flight from this city to the city. Then what happens? I need to book the ticket, so flight data will be available, and I can see in the flight is not possible to see how many seats are vacant. But in the case of the train booking ticket, we can see how okay these seats are number of seats are booked here or not. So should I go by this train or not? So with the help of the accessibility of the database, you will be able to see all these facilities. Now, industries, lots of the industries are available where the databases are used. Universities, BTOP is our best example, selling the product. So last 10 years data, selling data, I can easily identify this product should be launched in the next year or not, because this is not a much sellable product. So with the help of the such a database, we can filter the information. This is a not good product right now. After 10 years selling, we found that this product is not good for the market. So that is the point we have to keep in mind. Marketing, and we found that this XYZ product is last 20 years, or last since 20 years, this particular product is capturing the market. So it is better idea to we need to do market in particular place or not. But some product, I'm remembering my words over here. LG is a company. We can see LG is basically what? Can anyone tell me what is LG? LG company. What is the purpose of designing, or what purpose of manufacturing the products? Can anyone tell me? LG
Electronics.
electronics, because you are following the electronics products of the LG, and you are not suppose you are not following, then you don't do only this part. In India, LG is we are following the LG product in terms of electrical or electronics. But in the Europe, we have the bath soap of the LG company. So see, the LG company no, where we can sell the bath soap, where we can sell the electronic products. So they know where the marketing, where this products market is available. So if LG company is trying to sell the bath soap over here, definitely what will see? There will be less chance to gain the market as early as possible, because market is already captured by the other bus. That is my point. So it provides a help to understand the uh, uh, thing properly. So marketing is a good application for here. And finance, of course. So in the finance banking sector, we have the finance sector, so share market. So last time the share was last 6 months, so this share is growing because each and every day we got the data. So definitely in the coming days, this share will go more. There is no guarantee, okay, but in the sharing case, there is no guarantee, but we can predict. And telecommunication, of course. Telecommunication, how you can say what is the data is to be stored? Yes, of course. By the help of your mobile number, company can easily identify that when you have paid the bill. So last 5 years, if I need to check when I paid the record, why I paid the bill, so I can easily get it because some information is stored. Ultimately, what we have, data is stored into the databases, so we can easily troubleshoot such problems. That is the reason. So these are the various examples, and instead of these application, we have the lots of the applications we can use. Our mobile device is also a good example of the database, but how you can explain, it's a choice. Okay, so these are the applications. So don't need to discuss more about this part. These are theoretical portions. Yes, tell me right now. Is it clear to all right now?
Yes, sir.
So next point I would like to touch over here, and that is necessary. We have a database system. Okay, so you will able to see the slide where you can find that there is a database. But before that, I would like to tell this part right now, and that is necessary. Database system versus the file system. Okay, so now see, database systems versus file system. As you asked me the question before start the early time of the our starting class, you told me, you asked me, sorry. Uh, so what is the file system? So now you can see this example, this pictorial example, real life application. You can see. Let me explain first one by the file system, or that is also known as a conventional or traditional file system. You can observe over here. I'm just taking the different color points so you can easily understand. Just yes. In the file system, we have a record of the employee. So I'm marking right over here. We have some record of the customers and selling and inventory. So in the cell department, these three file system, customers and sales and inventory, are connected because how many selling is going on, what product we are selling to the particular customer. So we can keep the record in terms of the making the connection we can do. But accounting department is no need to connect by the cell department, and it is not connected, and it is not required at a time. So this is the account we can. An employee is not required to connect the customers and selling inventory. It is general. General in tradition, we are talking about the traditional approach we have seen and we are following. But employee salary is credited by the account department. So there should be relationship between the account department and employee. We found this is the biggest problem. So there is no relationship between the account department and employees. So what is the problem? There is a problem in the conventional file system or traditional file system. But in the case of the database system, as I told you so many times, if we have the personal database, selling database, and accounting database, we will integrate all these database, or we will combine all these database into a point that is known as the database system. And the collection of database systems which are managed by the software or algorithm, then we have the database management system. So new definition we are understanding, a database systems can be collections of the multiple databases which are required to manage by the some sort of the algorithms or some softwares or tools. So this is could be the good definition. And now finally, all the information which are stored into a databases, that is a we have the large databases, that is the employee, customer, sales, inventory, accounts. All the details are stored into the one point. So that is a big point we have to keep in mind. So database is required because all the databases are interrelated to each other. Employee database is connected to the customers. But now how you can say how the selling? So there is some point where we can say this is connected to the this one. But here employee and account is not connected. But in the our database management system, it is connected. Why? Because if I need to check how many times I have created a salary, suppose finance officer is saying how many times I have created a salary, or you need some advance payment, then I can say, so I need to keep the detail properly so I can trace out the detail next time. So there should be connection between the account and employee. Same thing we can connect with the employee customer, sorry, employee sales department, not customer, employee the sales department. So how many employees are belong to the selling department, and how much selling they have done. So there is connection between the selling department and employee. And after the selling, we are getting the some revenue. So revenue will goes into the account section. But there is a relationship between selling and account section. But in the tradition, we don't have. But here we have. That is the reason I'm saying once again, database is more important. Okay, so this point is clear to right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so no questions so far.
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay, good. So now next, I would like to explain the database environment. My dear, I am telling once again, this is not a database architecture. Architecture structure, we will say then it means we are talking about the internal architecture, internal structure of the internal representation of our database. But here we are talking about the some environment where what are the points we are using to represent the database. So here we have the some points that is hardware, software. In the software, we will use the operating system and hardware, data, and some software and hardware. So software will use operating system, database, memory system, and application. But truly speaking, right now you can understand hardware and software are the husband and wife of each other because hardware is nothing without the software, and software is nothing without the hardware. So if you have the software, but where you can install, you need the hardware, and you have the hardware, but you don't have the software. So how the machine will run and how machine will execute the particular programs? No, software is required. So both are required part of the any system, like a mobile device, of course. So people, if we're talking about the people, so we can say there will be the one person who will be treated as a master, so system admin. So system admin is the person who will have the top priorities or high or almost all privileges to manage the other part. So I'm taking the real example right now. Suppose we are following the beta, and the beta, I'm not able to change the admin principles or admin rules and regulations. I'm not able to assign the anything because what I privilege I have, I can follow my privileges only. So system admin would be the one. So this is the point. This system admin you can treat it as just like the our PC sir. Okay, so BC sir has the highest priority, top priority. He can do anything, and so he has all the privilege in his databases. Okay, so step by step I'm moving. Now next we have the database admin. Okay, so in database admin you will able to understand this is the manage the various databases. I'm repeating once again. Database admin will manage the various databases. This data administration could be many, but there is no guarantee. Could be many. So this database admin just like a dean. So in our university, we have a various schools, and in the ECN schools, we have the deans. So all the deans will report to the system admin, but all the dean has the right to contact the faculty and students and staff as well. And they can also update something as per the faculty requirement or as per the suppose I forgotten to mark your attendance. So my particular day attendance is log. So I will request to dean only. Okay, that is my point. So DBA is just a job, is a position where manage all the information will be managed in terms of the databases. That is my point. And database designer. Database designer, you can understand all the student like over here. Yeah, right. So ER diagram. ER diagram will be designed by this one. So ER diagram is what means just like a software developer, software and a system analyst, software developer, software designer, and software tester. All these are the four different paradigms of the career or job perspectives. So you will say, sir, I'm software developer. So I'm expecting you will develop some software or you will write the code for developing the software. But you will say, sir, I'm tester. So it means I can understand you are not a software developer. You will not develop any software. But after developing the software or on the developed software, you will test some cases. That is the point. And I'm again, you will say, sir, I'm I'm system designer or I'm software designer. Then I will say, you are the only person. You will not develop any software. You will not test any software, but you will design the software in terms of the graphical manner or some pictorial representation by using flowchart or data flow diagram or ER diagram as well. That is the matter. So system designer is just like a position. All these are the what? All these are the people. All these are the person who are the associated with our database. So environment in the environment, you can say only the one person will manage the database. No, There are lots of people who are connected to all a single database as well. So that is the point we have to keep in mind. In a company, you will see, you have heard the position graphic designer. Okay, so graphic designer, what is graphic designer will design the graphics. He or she doesn't need what is the objective of designing this one. Okay, it doesn't mean, but the what is the overall graphic design. I don't know if I'm as I am graphic designer, then I'm designing the graphics, but I don't know where it will be used. It is used for the advertisement or promoter or the way, I don't know. But my role is to design the graphic. Same thing, database designer will follow the some rules, and he or she will design the ER models and how ER models are connected to each other, because we are not designing the ER model single. We are designing the huge ER model, and here we can have the lots of the databases in terms of the entity. I'm repeating my words. All the databases in the ER model represented by the entity. So database admin has some right to define the sub constraint. Okay, as a admin, I can give you rights only. You can just see your marks. You can just see your attendance only. You are not allowed to update your attendance. You are not allowed to edit anything. So what you do? You are just end user. I'm marking like over here. You are just like a end user. You will be able to see only these, and you can only use this use only. You can't do anything because you don't have the privileges. So, but database admin will define something. So there's a procedure and standard rule and regulation which is to be written by the database like this. And there is some position, some people who lies between end user and the database admin or database designer programmers or some analysis. So after analysis, we found that there is some problem. There's some problem in the ER model. So because we are not cope up with the ER model to design the database. So what we'll do, we will report to the database designer or database admin, no sir, it should be updated. So because this programmer has some rights to create the database or create the something with the help of some applications. So application programmers are required to manage something. Database admin will work as internal. Database designer will work as internal because this part is not showing to the end user. But as a programmer will know, as a this is a intermediate terms, intermediate point where internal to external applications will be designed by or represented by the programmer analyst. So as a programmer, if I'm saying if I'm making a database designer where multiple or duplicacy applicable, so I'm the worst analyst of programmer. That is the point. So I need to check this point. The code should not be duplicated. If it is so, then a message or the data should be reported to the person. That is the point. So, as a faculty can be a programmer who will change your attendance if it is required. Suppose you were present, but I found you were mistakenly, I give you absentee. Or by putting the marks, you got the 46 marks, but I put it the 6 marks or 36 marks. So why we can update such point. That is the point. But database admin is a good position where the something can be happen. So we will report to the database admin, or just like you can say about teams. So this is the point. And application program will access the entire detail from the database and write to the database. Is the point. So in this environment, we have the lots of people. So you people are required to understand where you lie and what is your job. And ultimately, data is stored into our database. So finally, we have this data. Here we have here we can have the multiple data. So of course we can have the database management system will store the information to our data pool. So here we have this. But without the system admin and hardware, this cannot be happen. Yes. Now this is clear. Database admin and database system environment. This is not a database architecture. I am repeating once again. This is not a database architecture. This is just environment. What are the various things? And this procedures means we are talking about some rule and regulation, how you can use the constraint we are defining. The mobile number should not be less than 10 digit. Okay, so we can. But in the other country, if you are sending some application, then we will update. No, some other countries, mobile numbers are the 5 digits. If you go to the Europe, then you will find mobile numbers are 7 digits only. Then you will say, sir, 7 digits is applicable. Yes, of course it is applicable, but where we are using, that is the point. So some constant we can update, some constant we can apply. That is my point. So this is a database system environment. Now, is it clear to all right now? Yes, tell me right now.
Yes, sir.
I'm repeating once again, these things are not given to the books. So, but I am taking why? Because I need to clear the fundamental part. Yes. Anything you need to ask right now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So, okay, this is a theoretical portion I have written over here. So I'm not going to the theoretical portion unnecessary because what I've explained with the help of the example, you can read out from this point. Okay. So read out the all the this slide for detailed purpose. You can note down so some point in your mind as well if you need. So again, this is the again same point. So no need to go into the theoretical portion. But I would like to explain the purpose of the database, and that is the most important point over here. So I'm explaining the purpose of the database over here. So yes, yes. Tell me. So far, any doubt if you have, or should I explain the purpose of the database?
No doubt, sir.
So far, no doubt. So
No
let me
doubt.
explain. So in this slide, I'm expecting you will communicate me to understand this concept. First point I'm expecting that is the purpose of database system. The purpose of database system is saying to us what is the purpose of using database system. This is saying to us what are the drawback actually. What are drawback in the typical file systems? In the typical file system, what is the drawback and the drawbacks we need to overcome into the database system. So this is saying to us what is the need of the database system. So in the examinations, I can ask you some questions. The need of the database system, then you will say, sir, you didn't explain the need of the database system application, just like this one. I didn't. Yes, I agree. But the questions is hidden into the purpose of the database system. So you have to troubleshoot such problem. So first point I'm moving to the here is a drawback or we can say disadvantage in the typical file system. But from this point, we have to understand why database system is required. Data redundancy and inconsistency. Yes, can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me what is the data redundancy and inconsistency?
So having the same data stored at different locations, or the data is changed for one variable but not changed for the other, that is called inconsistency.
Okay, can any other student tell me?
So redundancy is having the same data stored at multiple places in
Yeah,
multiple systems.
this is a good point. So we can say duplicacy. We can say duplicacy. Suppose just like a student, I have already entered details. I know there is only the one student whose name is just let me take an example. Just let me choose a name over here randomly. Just randomly. Just yeah. Nirlop Dev. Nirlop. Are you there? 19 BCG 10067. Nirlop, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So we know your roll number is 19 BCG 10061. Last digit we know. Nello, there is only the one Nello in the our university we know, but I put it the multiple times your name and your father's name, your age and date of birth. So what I'm doing, I'm creating the multiple copy unnecessarily. There is no sense. Unnecessarily, I'm occupying the space. So it is better idea to we know there is only the one Nello. So why I'm making the copy? So redundancy should not be there. So there was a drawback in the traditional file system. So duplications we can't have and we must not have in the our database. That is the purpose or there is a need for using the database. And inconsistency is saying to a simple way, mobile number I'm just putting the detail. Someone asking me, sir, my age is 23. So I'm writing the 23. Okay, so it's okay. But I'm putting your age 23 instead of the 2320. I'm putting the PQ or XYZ. So you will say, sir, my age is 23, not a PQ. In the traditional approach, we can write anything, it will be happen. But data inconsistent. Data is meaningless. Who will write the 23? Who will write the age PQ? Who will write the age XYZ? No, that is the point. So age will be always informed with the numbers, not alphabets. So this is a constant we have to follow. So inconsistency. But in the traditional file system, we have or we had seen the redundancy inconsistency maybe. There's no guarantee, but maybe. So to avoid such thing, we have to prevent this disadvantage over here. The purpose of the database system is required over here. Okay, so this is the point. Now, is it clear or anything you need to ask? Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next point is difficulty in accessing data. Who will tell? Who will tell difficulty in accessing data?
So if the data is scattered in multiple files, then obviously it will be difficult to search the data, whereas if we are having a defined structure, then finding the data is easy.
Yeah, that is you're on the right track. So I'm taking another example. You're on the right track, no issue. Okay. So suppose this is the total 1,000 record I'm taking. There are 1,000 students record I have in my system, and I'm following the traditional approach only. And I found your name is on the list number 554. So this is the position of your record. So difficulty in access data because in the accessing can be done by the various mechanisms like the sequential access, random access, okay, or index random. So that is the point we have to keep in mind. Just go to the 30 or 40 years ago. So you will find there was an era of the cassette, audio cassette or video cassette. So if I need to listen the beautiful song which are on the track number 5, then I need to move first track number 1, then 2, 3, 4 to the sequential access. So in case of the system, you will find that if the traditional approach I am following or traditional file system I'm following, and my roll number was on the 554th position, then what happened? I need to trace 1, 2, 3, 4, and 553. So 553. So I need to move 1 to 553, and then I will find my roll number. I was found 554. What is the problem? I have wasted total search. I have wasted the total time, and this increase the my searching time unnecessarily. That is my point here, students. So unnecessary, what we are doing, we are increasing the searching time unnecessary. So better idea to use random accessibility, and this will be done by the computer system where we have. Okay, so from this point we have to keep in mind difficulty in accessibility we have. So in the computer system, we can just search the name of the person or roll number, just like the number of their roll number 67. We can directly jump on the particular record. It doesn't mean how many records we have, 1,000, 10,000, 10. It doesn't mean. So this is the difficulty in access data we have in the traditional data file system. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
data
sir.
isolation. Yeah, data isolation. Data isolation I can explain. Suppose I have the one file xyz dot txt, and another file I have the pqr that is followed by the dot doc. These two files contain the some information. One file contain the student detail, another file contain the faculty details. So it doesn't mean you are having the same extension based file or other extension file, but there's no relationship between these two files. The first drawback inside this, we can say both files also having the different file extension. So data is isolated because one is contained by the .doc format and another contained by the .txt format. So data is isolated into the form of the different format. That is the problem. So in our database system, we have to create a database, and that is to be defined by the its own structure, own format by default. So if you are following the MySQL or Nexus Oracle, So data format should be same to all the databases. So no confusion will be there. So relationship can be done easily. That is my point. So data isolation is the biggest drawback in the traditional file system. This is my point. Now, is it clear to right now? Is it clear to all?
Yes,
Sir, data isolation then it will be in database system also, right? How
Yes,
can
of
we?
course. I'm just taking the simple example. Student TXT I have. Okay, I'm just explaining this example over here like this one. Student TXT I have. Where student data is available. Can you create in the textual way? You can create. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
An annual database. You have the faculty database. You can also make same format. Doesn't mean okay. Different extension is not required. We are also having the same extension we can do. But can you tell me right now the student TXT make the relationship between the faculty TXT? Can we make?
no, sir.
Because the reason is clear. We don't have the certain features which are handled by the traditional file system. So there is no features which are containing by the traditional file system. So relationship cannot be handled. The relationship between the two file systems, or we can say the two traditional file system cannot be handled by the traditional file system. Relationship is not created at any cost. But data isolation can be varied depend on the your different file extension. So, but we have the different or we have the same, but relationship cannot be strict. That is the reason. The data isolation means data is isolated into a different format, or suppose we have the same format, but a relationship cannot be standard. That is the my point. Now, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, integrity problem is again another problem, and it is saying to us, the relationship cannot be created. So I can write here for your betterment because this PPT you can utilize for study purpose. So relation and relationship, these are the two different words in the database system. So please keep in mind while learning the database management system, you can't say that there is a relation between no, there is a relationship. Please focus on the word. Okay. So integrity problem is saying us there's no relationship between the two different databases in the traditional approach or traditional file format. Then there's no integration. There's no communications between the both databases. Why we are creating? Just like my dear all the students, just like this one, just like employee and customer account. So there is no communication between the employee and account. So this is what there's no integration. There's no integration between the employee and account file system. That is my point. So integrity is saying to us there should be linkage, there should be a relationship between the databases if they are following the database management system. But if they are not following, so there is a guarantee or there is maybe some chance they cannot have the relationship. So this is the integrity problem. So we had this problem actually. All these are the various issues and problems we have seen and we have to take care into the database system. That is it. Now, is it clear? Now, is it clear to all?
No, sir. Please explain one more time.
Integrity problem, the synonym word of the integrity is the combination. Okay, the combine. So if I need to combine the faculty detail inside the student's record, then I can do. But what I need to do, I need to keep the some details of the faculty detail along with the students. So due to this reason, my uh, size of the database student database will be increased because I'm putting the students detail along with the faculty name. Then unnecessarily I'm creating. So why I'm putting the multiple faculty name. I'm putting the faculty name multiple times again to assign the students. It's a better idea to just make a faculty database separately where the duplicacy cannot be. Just like this one. Suppose we have the simple C. 50 students are now. So 50 students are taught by the 5 students. So how many records will be there? How many records will be there? There will be 250 records. Okay, but if I'm making a record 50 of the students and 5 of the faculty, then total number of record would be the 55. Okay, so 250 is bigger than 55. So why you are using unnecessarily, why you are put 195 record unnecessary by putting that can have multiple entries. That is the reason. So integrity problem is saying to us we can't make the relationship. If we are not making relationship properly, so we are not doing the integrity. So we are not doing integrity, so we are increasing the size of the our file system, and it takes many times to read the information. That is the reason we have to follow a sequential approach. Again, it will take much time. So instead of the 50 into 5, we can do 50 plus 5. So we have the total 55 records, and all these 55 records are related to each other. So there is no duplicacy, and we can prevent such duplicacy. So what we are doing, we are solving the integrity problem. That is integrity problem. Now, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Now, atomicity problem. Atomicity problem I can explain simple way here. Uh, just let me take that over here. Yes, Manas Shukla. That's 10003. Manas, are you there? Oh, he is sleeping. So I'm removing his from my team right now. Yes. Okay, next I'm choosing here randomly. And who is the Mudita Singh? 20 MIM 10024. Mudita, are you there? Okay, who is present here? Who is Avikan?
Me, sir. Yes,
Can
sir.
you tell me your name?
Yes, sir. Vivek 20 mm 174.
Okay, Vivek,
Ashutosh, sir.
Asutosh, Asutosh, you should be there. Okay, so Vivek, how many bank accounts you have?
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, who is?
Sir, sorry, I'm Yamuna. Sir, Mudita just messaged me. She said she's having network issues, so she couldn't answer your call when you
Okay,
called her just now.
yeah, okay, yeah, no issue right now. So right now I'm communicating the Vivek. So no issue,
Fine, sir.
no issue. Please connect it. Please connect. Vivek, how many accounts you have?
Yes, one, sir.
One. Okay, good. Now, how many balance you have? If you want, then you can speak us.
About 2 lakh.
2 lakh. Okay, I'm just taking the small amount, just 20,000.
Yes, sir.
Suppose you have the 20,000 rupees in your account, and who is your friend?
Maybe Muskan, sir.
Okay, Muskan. So, suppose Muskan is also having only the 1,000 rupees in her account, and she is asking you, can you give me 1,000, 2,000, or 2,000 rupees for submitting the fees and so on. So what is the problem? Just this is the interesting point you have to listen. So Vivek just need to transfer 1,000 rupees only. Okay, 1,000 rupees to Muskan's account. So this is 1,000 rupees is transferring Muskan account. So what he will do? 1,000 rupees will subtract from the Vivek. So he will have only the 19,000 rupees. Okay, and Muskan will also have 2,000 rupees because 1,000 rupees will be added over here. Okay. So after this particular transaction, you both will be happy because you Vivek helped to someone and Muskan got the amount needed amount. You can say. Finally, what is this? This is a transaction. Transaction is nothing which is the operation, or we can have the multiple transactions and we can the set of the operation. So on operation, we are performing on the particular movement. Then we are doing a transaction. This is a simple definition of the transaction. A transaction is nothing which is an operation on the particular moment of the. This is the point. So now you both will be happy, Vivek. Yes, am I right?
Yes, sir.
So, but what is the problem in the atomicity? Atomicity is saying to us, your amount is debited. In the financial term, I can say your amount is debited, and Muskan amount was not credited. Then Muskan will say, I did not receive the amount, but you will say, I have sent you. So you will say to Muskan, you are telling to me lie after getting the 1,000 rupees. You are telling to me lie. So you will be worried. She's telling lie or there is some fault. There will be fault because her account was not credited. Then what is problem? There was a technical issue. Then after the 1 or 2 or maybe the suddenly you got a message your transaction was failed due to some technical reason. So your account will be credited by the 1,000 rupees or your account will be rolled back. Okay, so please listen my word. So you will say, okay, Muskan is saying true. That is the reason. And this is happening in the real situation while sending the answer script to the teachers after the examination. After the sometimes you call teacher, sir, I sent a file, my exam sheet, sir, did you receive? Faculty will say, no, I'm not received, just let me refresh. So after refreshing, maybe within the fraction of a second, the faculty will receive a file. That is it. So that is atomicity. But in traditional file system, once thing is gone, rollback is not possible, and that was a problem. Rollback can be possible by the memory, and again it will take much time. So automatic system we don't have, so it will take much time. So atomicity means preserve the transactions. Okay, so this is the point. Atomicity means preserve the transaction. So if we're doing the transaction for credit or debit something or someone accounts or whatever we are going to do, but it should be happen properly. So transaction can be succeed in case of if we got the acknowledgement. So after getting the transaction or transferring some amount to the friend's account, then you will see or you will see a message you will get. Why? Because this reason. And now in today's era, OTP is on demand. Why OTP? Because two important points. One is the security. So the amount will be deducted from your account only because you will get an OTP. You will get an OTP. OTP. That is a one-time password for security reason. And other reason is your account will get the OTP. It means now you are ready for transaction, and after sometimes within a few couple of seconds, once transaction is complete or succeed, or amount is debited or amount is credited to the friend's account, then you will get an acknowledgement by the SMS your account is debited, now you're transferred, and then suddenly you will get an email if you're registered by the email ID as well. That is the point. So this is the atomicity problem, but in traditional approach we can't and we have not seen. So now is it clear to all right now?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes. And the last one, security is not required to. So I will take the 2 minutes more. Security is not a concern. Security is an important point, so we have to keep in mind. And concurrent is saying to us there are two transactions T1 and T2. So suppose your account is the specific account is credited by the father, his father's account by the 2,000 rupees. Same times he is transferring 1,000 rupees to Muskan account. So what is happening? His account is following by the two transaction, transaction T1 and transaction T2. So there's a concurrent. It means simultaneously is having the two accounts, also two transactions, that is T1 and T2. But we feel that is the same time we are getting the same thing. No, internally by the technically or by the systematically we can say with the fraction of a second, with the fraction of the millisecond, there's a gap we have. Either transaction T1 will execute first or transaction T2 first, transaction T2 first. So transaction T1 or T2 depend on the system computation. Transaction T1 can compute first or transaction T2 can compute first. So order can be T1 or T2 or T2 or T1. So depend on the computation facility or depend on the some algorithmic approach, transaction can be performed simultaneously. But ultimately, his account finally will be maintain the balance 21,000 because 1,000 rupees is transfer. But 20 plus 2, 22,000 and 1,000 transfer to Muskan. So finally he will have 21,000. Okay, so that is a point we have to keep in mind. Okay, if we are following the other transaction, then 20 minus 1019 and plus 2, so 19 plus 2, so 21. So ultimately he has final value that is a 20. Internally we don't know which transaction is executing first. That is a concurrent. Concurrent means simultaneous, parallelly two transactions are executing. This I'm taking two examples. Multiple transactions can be. Okay, so this is the system. So this is the need of the database system, but this cannot be handled by the file system. But this is only handled by the purpose of database system. That is reason. Okay. So tell me any doubts so far?
No, sir.